Hey everyone, welcome back to part 4, and we're going to be talking about cryptocurrency versus the banks and meme stocks, and obviously all the hype around it, bringing on retail investors and totally shaking the market. Well, really, from going, at the moment it's been going from crypto, and then when crypto dies off, the meme stocks are piling back up, and it's a bit of a seesaw. So, starting with crypto, obviously we were just talking off camera there, does it actually have a future? Like, are we going to be using this in 10 years' time?
I think blockchain technology clearly has some real world implications. I think it's like pre-dot-com bubble in the sense of, do all these companies have a future? Probably not. There'll probably be an Amazon and a Google that come out of it, but picking that is pretty tough. I would, if I had to put money on it now, I'd maybe say Ethereum and Cardano and things like that might have some legs to them. I think blockchain technology, decentralized ledgers has future. In its current format, I don't know, because you say what's the use case for Bitcoin at the minute, and people give you very fluffy answers, don't they? And I hold Bitcoin,
Well,
but
it's changing, isn't it? You could buy this with it, you could withdraw cash.
Now it's a store of value. Now it's an inflationary hedge. It's
and that's the thing. Where in the future, so Cardano, what purpose would that serve in the future? Do you think?
I think the smart contract point is useful in the sense of removing middlemen. So I like the idea that you could maybe buy a house and me and you could have a contract that we know that if you fulfill that, it's done. I don't need a solicitor. I don't need all these middlemen and costings. I do think that has use. There's a book called Visions of Heaven, Glimpses of Hell that looks at the technology of virtual reality. And it basically says that when we have it initially, we use it for games because that's all we can imagine. When in reality, we don't know all of the different ways that we will apply that technology. Like with a camera, when they first invented it, all they did was film theatre shows as like a viewer. Now, look at all the things we do with cameras.
Yeah.
You can never see where the technology is going to go, but once it's there, it's obvious.
Yeah.
I think with cryptocurrency, it's the same.
So that's why it's still speculative at the moment.
It's very speculative. To say it's not speculative is pretty naive. It is speculative in that sense. It's speculative in the sense of the real world application of the technology, and then it's speculative within the sense of which one of those technologies is then going to be the dominant leader.
Yeah.
You're relying on development teams that we don't know much about, and there's zero regulation within the space. So that alone is speculative.
I think also, people are so bullish when it comes to cryptocurrency, but when we look at things like meme stocks, when that takes a ride and that's at an all-time high, look at what it does to crypto, and for something, I use the phrase painting the tape. When something can literally change overnight, how can someone be so bullish about it when it can change overnight? Like, you can't predict that. And that's what my biggest hold-up has always been, if you compare crypto and meme stocks to gold, you can't erase nearly 5,000 years of history of what it's done. Whereas if we go back over the last year of crypto, you could never say what it's going to do tomorrow. So that's my biggest thing, is that when we get these bullish sort of groups on crypto, that there's a lot of forecast and prediction of what's going to happen. I don't know how they do that.
Yeah, and I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm a cryptocurrency expert, and there's a lot of people that know a lot more than I do, but there must be a certain level of acceptance that at the minute the use case is up in the air a little bit, and it is speculative. To say that it will replace the monetary system as we know it right now is, I can't. The system will look to protect itself. Governments will move against it, and they can. And people who say that they can't stop crypto, they got rid of Binance. They can stop the on-ramps and make it a marginalised, niche asset that's really hard to buy.
Yeah.
And if they do that, they'll kill it. And what I don't like about the cryptocurrency space personally is the negative attitude towards regulation. I think it needs to adopt it and embrace it.
Yeah.
If you want to replace the system, you've got to be part of it first, because I want to invest in regulated assets. Yeah. I don't want unregulated exchanges like Binance just doing whatever they want,
Well, I'm glad you just said it as well, because Andrew Craig, a previous guest of mine, has been in finance for years upon years upon years, decades. Even turned around and said if they wanted to get rid of crypto, that it will be gone. So if it causes that much of an issue, it will be gone. And I suppose, is that perhaps why the owner of Bitcoin has never been revealed? Do you think perhaps he foresaw that actually down the line that they might want to get rid of the creator of Bitcoin. That's why no one knows who he is.
Maybe. I don't think he could ever have predicted what it would be now. I don't think it was almost like a concept, I think, like a concept car, like a BMW that sat there. You're like, this is what it could be. And then it's just gone, through the roof. He's probably there like, oh my God. And he's probably got more money than anyone on the planet, so he's probably not wanting to come forward and identify. If I had to make a guess, I would say it's a group. I don't think it's one individual. Right. Because if you look at the code and that, it is quite complicated. And I think the foresight to, the fact that the code has that, it gets harder to, as more people come onto the network, the difficulty within the coding increases, so it takes more effort. I think it's designed so well that no one person, in my opinion, would have been able to. You see when they trace down that Satoshi Nakamoto, whatever his name was, is that random Chinese guy? Yeah. I think they were just trolling and they're like, let's blame it on this guy,
Pin someone on it, Maybe.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, we don't know. And I think anyone that's looking and perhaps watching this video thinking, I've heard amazing things, I'm going to go in on Bitcoin. I think it's just a case of put the handbrake on and actually look at it as what it is, because I know that, as I was saying off camera, I've been in some conversations where, they're very bullish. If you're involved in crypto, and I think as an investor, and we're talking about investing, that's the whole point of this part 4 is being diversified,
exactly.
Going in smart.
There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with holding cryptocurrency. I hold myself, but like I said to you, it's 1 to 5% of my portfolio because there's a track record for stocks and shares going back over 100 years of delivering returns. I wouldn't go all in on crypto because my mate had just cashed in big, because it's a roll of a dice in that sense.
So this leads on nicely to meme stocks, because something. Obviously GME, we've got AMC, all these ones that are kicking up in the air, and it's insane because I say this with passion, is people are investing because of Wall Street bets. Yeah. Because if you turn around and you scream because you've seen a YouTube video of someone that is putting out a YouTube video to earn money off that video, you've watched it, you're screaming to me about it, and the ripple effect of retail investors then go buying it.
Social hedge fund they call it, don't they, or something?
It's dangerous. So where does the whole meme stock sit with you? What's your thoughts on it?
I think initially, if you look back at Wall Street bets, I think there was probably a good bit of analysis on GME initially around the short squeeze, and I think what those guys and girls did within that community is identify like a glitch within the system, and that's a once in a lifetime thing that would have ever happened. And now what you've got is an influx of 5 to 6 million people within that subreddit who are looking for the same thing again. It just won't be like that, and there's also that element behind it of stick it to the hedge funds. I think what people need to realise now is that the hedge funds are on both sides of that play. And for every hedge fund that's losing money, there's ones going into that subreddit, posting things. They've seen that there's accounts that are guys working at hedge funds trying to perpetrate this is an investment that you should make. I think the Wall Street Bets community isn't the place to look now for meme stocks. And for me personally, I know what stocks do over the long term. They revert to the mean of earnings. If it earns money long term, the share price will follow that. Yeah. These companies don't make any sense in terms of earnings. The
foundation of the company makes no sense at all.
No. GME issued new stock to cash in because they knew, wow, we need to get some money here because the share price doesn't make any sense. They didn't 200 million shares or something. They just dumped into the market to get the money in, and they might reinvest that now and become an online platform and all of this stuff. But in reality, they're not worth what they are on paper. And from an investing perspective, I'm investing in earnings long term, not hype.
It's almost like patchwork on the Titanic.
Exactly.
It's going down.
They will revert to the mean, they will revert to earnings. At some point, the share price will come back in line with the earnings of that business, because that's what matters long term. How much money does that business produce? Yeah. And I think that's what people miss.
It's scary though, because people do make money. I personally think by luck.
Yeah.
Unless you're a big institution and you get in at the right time because you knew it was going to happen. But I think the dangerous thing around meme stocks at the moment is people are honestly, it's crazy. If you go on, Reddit and you have a look, and obviously I put a video out there which ruffled some feathers, but is that people are actually saying, do I buy more? They're asking, it's almost like me saying to you, Damien, do I go and buy more? I'm not doing any of my own thinking. I'm not conducting any due diligence. I'm asking you, and I'm looking for an answer. And that's what I see with meme stocks. Is everyone's asking the next person. And obviously, with AMC, you've got that, sort of that community that's been built. But they're all asking and making decisions on other people, and I find that insane.
Yeah, and who are those people, and what is their agenda? Well, what are they It's like these pump and dump crypto things. It's very similar, like these groups where they're like, we'll give you the signals, but those guys are making loads of money off you rushing in. There is nothing wrong with holding meme stocks. Just treat it as a bit of fun. I would say it's not your main investing strategy, and if it is, you're exposing yourself to a lot of risk, and all. If it works for you, amazing, but it won't work for 99% of people.
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that. 100% of people in AMC aren't going to pull out £1 million.
No. And see, this is something else. I truly believe, please take note of this, is where we see these really bullish investors into, like, let's just use AMC for an example, is that where they're like, it's going to happen. And what makes me laugh is
the mother of all short squeezes, or MOAS, or whatever.
It was meant to happen in May,
yeah.
Then June, then July. I imagine these people who are invested, we get to 2023 and they're like Vietnam veterans, and they're like, it's going to happen next month. But the thing is, they need it to happen because people have taken mortgages out, refinanced their cars, they're in debt. So they went all in. And
Didn't it happen?
They need it to happen.
I think, like, looking at the charts, I'm like, didn't it happen?
Yes.
Like, when people are like, oh, the short squeeze hasn't happened yet, I'm like, Jimmy, share price went like catatonic.
Yeah.
Like, how has it not happened?
Yeah, that's $71, I think.
Yeah. So what does this other short squeeze look like, and why haven't the hedge funds covered their asses now? And which, in my opinion, they have. They got the caught with their pants down once, and they were like, right, now we cover ourselves. Yeah, we go on the other side of the bet. Like, those guys are so sophisticated and smart. They got caught once. I don't agree with their practices. I know that hedge funds all sit in a room and collude together, but you got to know the game you're playing. It's
been like that for years.
Yeah.
It's never going to change.
No.
So that's what it is. Amazing. That was part 4. Damien, thank you so much for joining me on this part 4 series. Damien, where can people connect with you, follow you on YouTube?
Yeah, Damien Talks Money on YouTube. I also have an Instagram under the same handle. I reply to all comments and that, so get involved if you want to have a chat.
Yeah. Loved having you on. Thanks so much, Damien. Cool.
Cheers.